Welcome to 10 Minute Treasure. My name's Jeff Pospisil. And normally in these videos, I try to share with you a little practical nugget, something that'll help your church improve your financial position. But this one, I don't know how practical it'll be. There might be some learning in it, but I'm just going to share with you a story about how my cheapness got me in trouble. You know, I'm a cheap accountant, and I don't know if there's any other kind, but that's what I am. And recently, we had our annual conference up in Bismarck, North Dakota. So our annual conference, that's the it's a 3-day meeting of our United Methodist people from around North and South Dakota, and we meet there to worship together, to learn together, and to do some business. So I used to live in Bismarck, and my plan normally is to stay with some friends that I've known for years, and that way you get to reconnect as well as not stay in a hotel. I'm kind of cheap. I don't want to stay at a hotel, and I usually don't sleep as well in a hotel either. So anyway, long story short, the plans to stay at a friend's house fell through, and at the last minute I decided, well, just gonna go on Priceline. I'm just gonna pick a very cheap hotel in that area near where the convention center was going to be at. So I go online and I find the Budget Inn Express for $45 a night. So that's a really good price. Hard to turn that down. You know, we lived in Bismarck about 15 years ago, and I remember this being an older hotel and, you know, very dated, but even the 1-star rating didn't really bother me. Because I figured, you know, I can deal with pretty much anything and I don't need a whole lot of amenities anyway. So I carpooled with a friend up there and we pull into the parking lot of the Budget Inn Express, and there was mattresses outside, and there was looked like cars broken down in the parking lot. And I still, even after seeing that, I still go into the office to get my room because, again, I don't know. Cheapness really ruled me here. But I go in and I look at the front desk, and then I hear a voice behind me saying, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "Well, a room." It's like, "You got a reservation?" And that's when I turn around. I see a guy and his buddy. They look like they're drinking beer on the couch that's in the office area. And I'm like, "Yeah, I made it online." And he's like, "Well, you better get a refund because we're all full up." And I was like, okay. So now I got a meeting here in about 30 minutes. So I'm really trying to process all this, and one of the things that I looked at later was the reviews for this hotel, which I probably should have done earlier. So if you scan through the reviews for the Budget and Express on Priceline, what did you like most? The location. What didn't you like? Television didn't work. Water leaked down from the room above. Rug was dirty. Cleaning staff did not come for 3 days. Unmade. Cheap room, but even at that price, way too much. So again, I might have even dealt with that. So that was a fairly recent review. Another one, what'd you like most? The location. But then here was kind of the kicker. The rooms are filthy, so filthy. My kids would rather sleep in our car. We wouldn't shower or even sleep under the blankets. I made my kids wear all their clothes, even socks. There was dirt everywhere, and I don't think the bedding had ever been changed. So now I might have even had my doubts. And then here's one more. This is an older review, but if there would have been a picture of this place, so I would have never booked the hotel. Um, just not impressed. The guests and employees of the place looked like they were on alcohol. Nothing they liked the most. I mean, if they could have canceled it, they would have, you know. So that is what I experienced. Just even my brief almost stay there. So again, I wish I would have read the reviews, and my cheapness might not have won out there. So I get back in the car with my friend, and everybody's safe, and we go to the Radisson. My friend was staying at the Radisson because that's the actual hotel that the conference had a contract with, and so it would have made sense. Anyway, I go to the Radisson and I ask them if there happened to be one room available, you know, and they didn't have anything available. They were all full up. And I again, I got this meeting that's coming up, and now I got about 20 minutes till the meeting, and I'm starting to stress. And a pastor friend in the lobby um, is there, and I'm just telling him a little bit about my story, and he just happens to offer. He says, "Yeah, you can stay with me. I have a room to myself, and the conference is paying for it anyway because he was a presenter." And this is a friend that I I've had a few conversations with. I wouldn't say we were close or anything else, but I like the guy, and he must have liked me enough to offer to share a room with me. So I thought that was great. And then I went off to my meeting and came back to the hotel at around 8 o'clock. And I'm guessing that my pastor friend had assumed that there was two queen size beds. That there was two queen size beds because I walk into the room and I say, "Oh, yay, a king size bed." And I'm thinking, okay, we're both built similarly, both pretty thin dudes. Hopefully, I don't move in my sleep. Hopefully, he doesn't move in his sleep. Again, we kind of know each other, but we don't know each other really, really well. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I'm just thinking this is probably about as awkward a thing as it can possibly be. And but either way, I didn't change rooms and he didn't kick me out, so we just went with it. So, while I would never have ever chosen to do this in my wildest, cheapest plans, I would have never said to the pastor, "Hey, I hear you got a king size bed. Want to share? I will just put a pillow in the middle," which we did, just because, gosh, you just hope you don't move too much in your sleep and end up in a really awkward position or whatever it is. So anyway, but like I said, I would never have done this, but it was a good reminder of why it is nice to stay at somebody else's house, or it is nice to share a hotel room with two beds, um, because there's space for conversation. You leave a meeting and it might be 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. All of a sudden, you get to the hotel room and you got an hour or two before you're going to go to bed. And you can watch the basketball game, which we did. The NBA finals were on, and just sit there, and there's space for conversation to happen around the edges. As a guy, it's kind of nice to not be forced to talk to somebody, but have it happen a little bit more naturally. And the other thing too is there was enough time too to get past the surface, where you're not rushing off to the next thing. And some of the some of the conversation ended up being very impactful for me. I mean, some of the stories shared, some of the ideas shared, they it was beneficial for me, and hopefully it was beneficial for this other pastor as well. So, and now here's the kicker. So again, that was $45 a night, right? That pastor, he was only going to stay for the first 2 nights, so I needed it for one more night, and then it was available. So I was able to rent that room, and it was $150 for that one night. But when you average it out, it was only $50 a night, so I still stayed pretty cheap. So victory for me. Anyway, I hope you liked the story, and I'll talk to you later. God bless.